Hello, good afternoon, everyone. I know it's been a long time. I've not seen you for many, many months. Okay, I think it's about 2 months, at least 2 months. So you must have been wondering, Tegu Chong must have disappeared from the face of the earth. Okay, so actually, I'm still around and I was busy actually. So today I would like to restart my season of 2024. I know school has already been on for about 1 month plus. Okay, but I've not had time to do any slides. So actually, today I would like to touch on a topic that I think a lot of students will find it difficult because they cannot see it, right? They cannot envision what actually happens during what we call this photosynthesis. All right. So today I would like to, explain things and make it easy for you to understand and also, most importantly, to remember. Okay, because you can't actually remember something that you don't even understand. So the what you call the secret of getting A's in any subject, not only biology, is to first of all understand what you're learning, and after that is to remember. Okay, I always feel that you can't remember if you don't understand it because you cannot just memorize something that you don't understand. It's not going to stay. It will not work. All right. So I want you to understand, and after that, when understanding is already done, you find memorizing or remembering it is much easier. Okay, so today I will go straight to today chapter 2. You must be wondering, why am I so slow? Actually, we are done with chapter 2. All right, it's just that I would like to pick up this important part of chapter 2, which is 2.4, just to explain important concept that I feel most of students will struggle. All right, so if you would like to let me know who is here, or Emily. All right, good afternoon. Oh, you have finished your SPM, yeah, but you are following. Thank you very much, Emily. All right, so who else is still here? Okay, you just type and say hi to me. Okay, Emily, thanks for watching. All right, let's talk about today's topic. All right, I'm going to share screen. I think you can see this. All right, now organ for photosynthesis, as you know, is the leaf. All right, the leaf is the kilang makanan, is the place where food is manufactured. Okay, now we need to understand what actually happens during photosynthesis. Okay, we need to be a bit technical here because it involves chemical reaction. All right, and you can't see it. All right, so I'm making a diagram. I've drawn a PowerPoint slide to make you really understand what actually happens during photosynthesis. And if this question comes out in essay, all right, if you understand it, in fact, you can get full marks because nothing came out about it. It is just understanding and writing it out, explaining it, and everything is there. You will get all the marks. All right, okay. So let me make my screen a little bit smaller so that I can see your comments if they are. All right. So at the moment, I think there are nothing yet. All right, Emily, yes. Okay, so Emily's there so far. I don't know about the rest. I think there are about 6 people with me now. Okay, let's start. Now, you need to know what you're looking at. Okay, so now this is not the cell. I've isolated an organelle from the cell. Okay, do you know what it is? I think Emily, you should know what it is, right? You would like to answer this question. What are you looking at? This is an organelle from plant cell. Okay, let me see. Anybody else besides Emily? Okay, I'm waiting. Okay, it's fine. All right, you do not want to answer, it's fine. So you should know that this is the chloroplast. All right, this is not a cell. I've taken out an organelle from the cell. So this is not the cell, this is the organelle I've taken out, isolated from the cell. So you're looking at the chloroplast. So the chloroplast, you must know how to label. All right, the function of chloroplast is to carry out photosynthesis. This is what we call the site for photosynthesis. This is where photosynthesis happens. This is where the reaction happens, inside your entire chloroplast. But we need to see where. All right, there are two actually reactions, so you need to see where afterwards. All right, first labeling. Okay, you have made questions, and X and Y and all that, so you should know how to label. Yeah, so this is actually the double membrane organelle. This organelle has got two membranes. Okay, the first one, the outer one, is called outer membrane, and the inner one is the inner membrane, right? You will see the inner membrane is smooth, okay, unlike the mitochondria. Mitochondria also has got inner membrane, but it's highly folded. Okay, that is your Form 4 work. This is your Form 5, right? You have to retain all the information from Form 4. So outer membrane smooth, inner membrane smooth as well. Okay, but that's not where the photosynthesis happens. The photosynthesis happens, all right, in two places. Number one, you see all this liquid part, all right, the matrix, the liquid part of inside the chloroplast. This is known as stroma. Please make sure you don't write stoma. This is stroma. S-T-R-O. There's an R there. Okay, not stoma. Stroma. The liquid component there inside the chloroplast. And the other part that you see all these flat discs, all right, it looks like flat discs, but actually they're very small, all right? They're just, you don't imagine it very big. It's actually very, very, very small, all right? So this is called thylakoid, okay, thylakoid. And this is where the pigment of chlorophyll is at. Okay, the pigment of chlorophyll is at thylakoid. And this is one, thylakoid is just one of these flattened discs here. If you have an entire stack, all right, you will call it granum. This is granum. Right? Granum is the entire stack. You have more than one of thylakoid, you call it granum. And then if you have more than one stack, right, you can see here there are so many. All right, let me draw, let me just highlight. So, okay, let me put red color. This is one stack, right? You have another stack here, so many stacks, right? You will call it grana. Grana is the plural of granum. But it doesn't matter whether you write granum or grana, we will still mark it as correct. Okay, we're not particular about your grammar. Okay, next. Now, you may get another picture of chloroplast, but this is what they call a cross-section. So if you get a cross-section, you must also know how to label it. Okay, so let's look at the labeling. So again, this is your outer membrane. Then your inner membrane is here, there. All right, then you have the stroma, which is the liquid part here. So anything, you don't touch any, the label don't touch any of the parts here. Just label the liquid there, that's your stroma. Then you have this thylakoid. And then the entire stack of thylakoid is called granum. All right, okay? So you need to know the structure first of chloroplast. And now we zoom in, okay, on the reaction itself. My focus today is to make you understand the chemical reaction that produces food, which is glucose. Okay, glucose is the first molecule that is produced during the process of photosynthesis. Later, this glucose can be converted into something else like starch. It can also be converted into sucrose and other substances, other food nutrients that the plant needs. Okay, next. Now you will see this diagram like this. All right, you will see this is what we need, what we call the mechanism of photosynthesis. So when a question asks you to describe or explain the mechanism of photosynthesis, you have to talk about the chemical reaction inside the chlorophyll or inside the chloroplast that causes, that produces the food. Okay, so here there's a tiny little mistake here. This molecule is not NAPD plus, it's NADP plus. Okay, we will see that. We'll see that later, what it means. All right, so this is what you want to learn today. Okay, you are going to learn today. All right, now next. Now, if you refer to your textbook, all right, Form 5 textbook, page 44. Now, you will find this page, all right, this table here, which will be like Greek to you. It sounds so difficult to understand. You don't know about all this NADP plus and then NADPH, and then you have all this electron and ATP. It looks like, foreign language to you. Okay, so after today's lesson, I hope that it won't be foreign language to you anymore. I will make it as easy as possible for you to understand. All right, and for answering question, just write this. It is good enough. You just write this for your essay, to describe the process, you will get it right. Okay, just whatever it is, follow your textbook. All right, okay. So the mechanism of photosynthesis actually consists of two stages. There are two reactions actually. We call it light-dependent reaction All right, there's the first one. It happens in the thylakoids. Okay, the thylakoid that I was showing you just now, the flattened disc, right? Thylakoid. So light-dependent reaction happens in the thylakoid. Okay, all of it, right? That's where your chlorophyll is. Chlorophyll molecule is in the thylakoid. And then after that, the second stage, there's another stage, huh? Photosynthesis is not complete without both stages. After the light-dependent reaction occurs, right, you're going to get some substance that will be needed for the second part of the reaction, which is called the light independent. So you see the difference here is dependent and independent. Let me highlight this. Dependent, independent. See the word here? Different, huh? This is independent. Independent means it does not depend on light. So the second stage of the reaction, it can happen without light. It can also happen, of course, with light. It can happen with or without light. Okay? But for the first stage of the reaction, number one, number two, number one here, light dependent, that means without light energy, the first reaction will not happen. Okay, so this one happens in the day, all right, because there will be sunlight. And the second part of the reaction, it happens day or night. Okay, day and night both together because it does not really need the light. Okay, now I'm going to explain number 1 to number 6, number 1 to number 3, all here. Okay, don't worry, all this jargon here. Okay, I'm going to start with explaining this. All right, just follow. All right, any questions, just type in the chat and I will answer your questions. All right, I'll try to answer it if I can see it. And that's, at the moment, there's nothing to answer, right? Okay, so let's go on. Now, first thing, light-dependent reaction. All right, now you will see I'm going to I'll come back to the chloroplast. So in the chloroplast, don't forget you have the thylakoid, you have the stroma, isn't it? So the light-dependent reaction, which is the first one, occurs in the thylakoid, not in the stroma. So we're talking about the thylakoid only. Okay, now I'm going to isolate your thylakoid. All right, take it out. I'm not looking at the chloroplast anymore. Just look at the thylakoid. All right, and then I'm going to besarkan. I'm going to magnify your membrane. This is the membrane. This is the membrane of thylakoid. So I'm going to magnify the thylakoid membrane. On the thylakoid membrane actually are your chlorophyll molecules. They're in, right? In the thylakoid membrane. Okay, so I'm going to, this represents your thylakoid membrane. Okay, this curve, whatever, this is the membrane now. All right, now this is the thylakoid membrane. Now in the thylakoid membrane, actually is what I mentioned just now, is your chlorophyll molecule. So let me use this to represent your chlorophyll molecule. Okay, this green thing here is a molecule, right, stuck inside your thylakoid membrane. All right, okay. Now, what happens when there is light? This is the chlorophyll. So light, we need light energy. So when light strikes this chlorophyll, right, when the chlorophyll receives light, it traps the energy from the sunlight, isn't it? Okay. Now what happens is this light energy will excite the electrons in the chlorophyll. Now, chlorophyll is actually a molecule. So when you have a molecule, there will be atoms. And when there are atoms, there are definitely electrons. You know, atom has got proton, electron, and neutron, right? So you have electrons in the atom, all right? Chlorophyll is a molecule, therefore you have atom inside. So this electron, once it receives light energy, it will be excited. It will be, it receives energy and it gets more energy. It will be excited, okay? So it will go to a higher level. So the E here represents electron. Of course, you can't see it, right? Because electron is, there's no way you can see electron. They are two, it's just theory, all right? And it's even then, if you can, it is actually very, 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 very small, okay? So your electron gets energy, so it goes to a higher level. You learn that in your chemistry lesson, right? Electrons, they can jump from one level to another level, right? The orbit, right? So now it gets energy, so it goes a higher level. Now this electron will be passed on from one molecule to another molecule called electron carriers. So on the thylakoid membrane, there are not just chlorophyll, there are electron carriers, okay, on the thylakoid membrane. So these electrons get passed on from one electron carrier to another electron carrier. Okay, so you get more than one. So they pass on from one to another, electron goes through, okay, electron carriers, and until it goes to the last one. Okay, the last one I'll show you. Now, what is this energy for? What is this electron for? So this electron, you say it got energy, right? This energy is used actually to produce ATP. Okay, the energy that is the electron gets, right? It is, this energy will be converted, will actually be used to make your ATP molecule. ATP molecule is your adenosine triphosphate. You learned that in Form 4 already. It is a molecule that contains energy. So these electrons, right, ultimately passing through different electron carriers, this energy will be used to produce ATP. Okay, so now you understand that in the process of electron being, getting energized and all that, ATP will be produced inside the chloroplast. All right. Now ATP is, how do you get ATP? It is actually ADP, and you join with another phosphate group. Okay. If you are not sure about this ATP, you can PM me. I will explain that to you. Okay. ADP is adenosine diphosphate with two groups of phosphate. You add another phosphate, you get triphosphate. Adenosine triphosphate is a molecule that got the energy inside that. So it's an energy carrier molecule. ATP is an energy carrier molecule. Okay, so ATP is produced now. All right. Now these electrons get passed on from one electron carrier to the next until it comes to the last electron carrier. So this has a special name. Okay, this electron carrier, we call it NADP+. Okay, now what is NADP+? You don't really need to write out. It's in your textbook, page 44. It's actually nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate. Okay, it is positively charged because it's lacking in electron. All right, NADP, no need to write in full. You can just write NADP+. So it is a molecule, all right, that is going to receive the electron. So electron goes to this NADP plus because it is positive, right? Positive means lacking electron. So when the electron comes in, you'll be neutral. So later on, it's going to form NADPH. Another H comes in. Okay, so you have positive here, one positive here, all right, lacking in one electron, lacking in one electron. That's why you terima two electrons. Two electrons here, you have a hydrogen ion, you have the NADP positive, right? Once it combines together, the electron comes into your molecule, it becomes NADPH. Okay, remember NADPH with a hydrogen inside that. Now, where is this hydrogen coming from? Later, another story, all right, after I tell you where the hydrogen comes in. So now the most important thing is, in this thing on the slide that you see here, you have two things being produced. Number one here is your ATP molecule. Another one is your NADPH molecule. You have two molecules or two types of substances produced so far in the light-dependent reaction. Okay, now these two are needed for the second reaction. Therefore, you need this. Before your second reaction happens, you must produce ATP and NADPH. Otherwise, your second reaction will not work. It will not happen. Okay, so now you have NADPH and ATP. Now let me go to the story of how do you get H positive? Where does this H positive come from? Another process that happens at the same time, you see this water, all right? Photosynthesis requires water. So the molecule of water, all right, H2O, actually it also carries out an process which is light energy from the sun. It splits the molecule of water. Okay, this process is called photolysis of water. The molecule is split. H2O, you split the molecule, you will get hydrogen positive ion and OH negative. See, that's where you learn your chemistry, right? When you split water, you do electrolysis of water. You will get hydrogen ions and hydroxide ions. Okay, so this is where your hydrogen ion is. It comes from the photolysis of water. Okay, this H plus that you joined together with the NADP plus comes from the photolysis of water. All right. Okay. Now next, what is going to happen to your OH? Okay, your H goes inside, goes and join with the NADP plus. So what's going to happen to your OH? Your OH actually got minus, right? Negative, right? So what happens is this electron, right, will be donated back to your chlorophyll to neutralize it. Because your chlorophyll keep on producing electron, keep on the electron losing electron. It's going to be positively charged, right? If it's no electron come back. So this electron will be donated back to the chlorophyll, and now the chlorophyll is not lacking in any electron. Okay, so your OH now becomes no longer charged because electrons go here. Okay, let me draw this. Electrons go here to go and neutralize back your chlorophyll. Okay, now what happens to your OH then? Your OH will rearrange itself. Okay, not just one, you have many OH, right? Rearrange itself, you're going to get oxygen gas. It's going to be released as gas form, gaseous state, and water. So you will see that light-dependent reaction actually produces four things. Number one, your ATP. Number two, NADPH. Number three, oxygen gas is released. Okay, so your oxygen comes from the light-dependent reaction. And number four, there's also water. Okay, the water is used by the plant itself. All right, so there are four things released in your light-dependent reaction. Okay, clear so far? You will see that, Kenneth, long time no see. Oh yes, Kenneth, long time no see. Yeah, you must have finished your SPM already. I think you're 2 years ago. So I hope you get good results. I think you are. Okay, let me know. You PM me lah. I would like to know what is your result. I don't know whether you last year or the year before. Never mind. Okay, you PM me or I PM your kids. Okay, so you see, there are four things here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. So now you notice that there's no food produced yet. There's no glucose, right? So far, we never talk about glucose here. You don't see the food. You don't see the carbon dioxide. Where is it? Actually, belum habis. This reaction is only half of it. Until here, the first reaction, there is no food produced. There's no glucose. There is carbon dioxide also you don't see. It's actually happened in the second part of the reaction. Okay, so now we go on. The light-dependent reaction produces four things: ATP, NADPH, oxygen, and water. The oxygen gas is released during the first reaction, the light-dependent. Okay, this is usually happen in the daytime when there's light. Okay, now we go to the second part. Right, so we got ATP, NADPH. This is needed for the second reaction. Okay, now we go to this one. The second part of the reaction is called light independent reaction. Independent means it does not require. Actually, I can't get A plus. Oh yeah, you're waiting for your result, right? Yeah, you got it. You took it last year. Okay, we will wait and see. You let me know. Okay, I think the result will come out sometime in May. All right, Emily, don't worry. A is good enough. Don't need to get an A plus. Right? A minus also good. All right, A minus. Don't have to worry so much. Whatever is done is done. All right, just pick whatever result that comes to you. All right, so just relax. All right, okay, light independent reaction. Now the second reaction actually happens in the stroma, not on the thylakoid membrane anymore. Remember the first reaction was on the thylakoid membrane. I draw the thylakoid membrane. Now it's in the liquid part. The second part of the reaction is in the stroma. I purposely put the R here so you don't spell it as stroma. Stroma. Okay, now in the stroma itself, there is a 5-carbon compound. The compound is a molecule, got 5 carbon. So the name is quite complicated. For your level SPM, you don't need to remember. But if you want to know, the name is called ribulose 1,5-bisphosphate. Okay, so complicated. Never mind. You just say 5-carbon compound. Look at your textbook. Whatever textbook says, just follow. It says a 5-carbon compound. The name is actually ribulose 1,5-bisphosphate. Okay, now in your stroma, there is this molecule here. What is going to happen? All right, now it looks like this. So complicated. Okay, you got a carbon here. Okay, carbon is actually here. Carbon here. All this is all the carbon. Got 5 carbons. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's another one, okay, 5 carbons here. All right. So what happens is this 5 carbon compound will fix carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide is where you see now. Okay, carbon dioxide comes in now. Carbon dioxide from the air, right, is absorbed through the comes in, diffuses into the stoma, right? So it goes into the air space in between the cells, the stroma, what you call the mesophyll palisade cells, palisade mesophyll cells, and the spongy mesophyll cells. So this carbon dioxide, all right, will combine with your 5 carbon compound. Okay, this is called fixation. It means your carbon fixed together with your 5 carbon. So this is a 5 carbon. All right, now it becomes how many carbon? 5 carbon campur lagi 1. You get 6 carbon compound. Okay, you already got 5 carbon there. Now your carbon dioxide comes in, you get 6 carbon compound. So this 6 carbon compound, all right, you also need ATP. Now remember, just now ATP was produced in the first reaction, right? Now that's where you see why we need ATP. In order for this 6 carbon compound to be converted into something else, belum habis cerita, your ATP is needed. So ATP is the energy. Now this energy is needed to carry out this process. This process is actually called reduction. Your 6 carbon compound is going to be reduced, all right? And at the same time, you need to bring in your hydrogen. Where is the hydrogen? The hydrogen is here. It is already ikat with your NADPH. So hydrogen goes in. Hydrogen goes in. You see here is 6 carbon compound, no hydrogen, not enough hydrogen, don't have. So now you will get NADPH. NADP, because take away carbon. Take away the hydrogen. NADP, remove the hydrogen, so now no longer hydrogen, so NADP plus. So now what is going to happen to your compound? Add hydrogen inside, you're going to get, this process is called reduction, you're going to get a monomer, a glucose monomer. Because CO, no hydrogen inside. CO only, no hydrogen. You need to bring in the hydrogen. That's why you need these 2 things. You need energy. You also need your NADPH. That's why you need your NADPH, because the hydrogen inside there. So once hydrogen comes in, you are going to get what? You are going to get your CH2O, which is your glucose monomer. This is the beginning of your glucose molecule. You need, not enough, one glucose is C6H12O6. This is only CH2O. Okay, 1 unit only. So you need 6 units. So enough of the 6 unit of glucose monomer, you are going to join, it will join together, you condense together, you are going to get your 6 of it, 6 times CH2O times 6, you will get C6H12O6. And this you will recognize as the monomer. This is, not monomer, this is the glucose. This is your glucose molecule. So now you see glucose is produced. There is food. So your second reaction actually is the reduction of your 6 carbon compound to get this glucose. All right, and what's going to happen to your C6H12O6? This is your glucose. Later on, it will be converted into other things that your plant needs, like starch to be kept as food storage, then lipid, and also protein. Okay, plant has got protein, plant also got lipid. Don't forget, don't think plant no fat. Got, you know the vegetable oil? Where do you get vegetable oil? The kacang is oily, isn't it? You get oil from vegetables. You get oil from plants. Lipid also. All right. So this is what actually happens in the second reaction. Carbon dioxide comes in. Then you need the ATP and the NADPH from your first reaction to carry out this reduction. Then you get CHO2. Then 6 times, 6 molecules of the glucose monomer combined together, you get 1 glucose molecule. And this glucose molecule will be later converted into other substances, other nutrients that the plant needs. Okay, now this entire light-independent reaction is actually called Kelvin cycle. Okay, it's discovered by a scientist by the name of Kelvin. All right, so this one, very complicated actually. In Form 5, you're very lucky. You don't need to remember the enzyme, the names of the enzyme that catalyze this reaction. In Form 6, you will need to know the Kelvin cycle more in more detail. All right, so in Form 5, this is just enough. You don't even need to remember your ribulose. This name also no need. This name also no need. All right, no need the name of Kelvin cycle. No need ribulose 1,5-bisphosphate. Okay, now we look back at what your textbook tells you. Now are you able to understand this? Okay, let's go through one by one. All right. So the first one, photosynthetic pigments on the surface of the thylakoids. Remember the membrane there? This is the chlorophyll. It will absorb light energy. So number 2, light energy excites the electron. Okay, I showed you all the E, isn't it? It will go to a higher level. Okay, the electron in the chlorophyll will be excited to a higher level. And then the excited electrons will go through a series of electron carriers. I told you all the E going, passing on. That is the electron carriers. Now, this energy from the electrons is used to generate energy in the form of ATP. So ATP is produced from the energy that the electron carries. Okay, then after that, this electron passing on from one electron carrier to another and another and another, accepted by the last one, which is called NADP+. This is the one, right? So this is an electron acceptor. It is also a hydrogen acceptor. It's going to combine with hydrogen that comes from the photolysis of water, and now it becomes your NADPH. Okay, so you got ATP here, you have NADPH. Okay, this NADPH is a reducing agent. It will be used later in the second part. It's going to reduce your compound, your 5-carbon compound. Okay, then next, chlorophyll pigments attract electron. Now, so the electron from the photolysis of water, remember your OH negative, the electron will go to the chlorophyll to make it back into neutral, because your chlorophyll is keep on losing electron. So electron must come back to neutralize it. Otherwise, your chlorophyll become more and more positively charged. Okay, so now the electron will go accepted by the chlorophyll pigment. And then photolysis, what happens? Another thing happened there. Your water is broken down to form hydrogen ion and hydroxide ion. This is where your hydrogen comes in to join to your this one, right? Your NADP to get your NADPH. Okay, so, and your hydroxide ions, later on, they will lose the electron, pass it to the chlorophyll, and then they're going to form oxygen and water. I don't have this, sorry, accidentally pressed. You will form oxygen and water. So finish your first reaction. Now second reaction, not yet finished, right? Because you have not seen your water food yet. So 5-carbon compound. Okay, no need to remember name, the ribulose 1,5-bisphosphate, no need. You say 5-carbon compound in the stroma. This is in the stroma. In the stroma, I want to highlight and then the thing go away. Okay, stroma, this is in the stroma. It will fix the carbon dioxide. It combines with the CO2, or rather the CO2 comes in, and now you get a 6-carbon compound. No need to know the name. Okay, and it requires your NADPH and your ATP, which is from here. This now you need that. Remember not? All right. To reduce. So the process is a reduction process. To form glucose monomer, which is your CH2O. Only one, right? CH2O. And then the glucose monomer condensate, that means join together. Actually, you need 6 of it. Okay, you need 6 of it to form glucose molecule C6H12O6, right? This is a glucose molecule. And then after that, this will form starch. The glucose will be converted to form starch, and also other substances. That's where your food is produced. See? Simple, isn't it? Actually, if you understand, you just remember the steps. If a question comes out, it's actually a bonus, because nothing came up. Just write only, and everything is correct. Okay, you must understand the steps. So how to remember? You remember by reading again and again and again. You cannot just expect today you understand, okay? 1 month later exam, you cannot recall back because you don't remember the facts, because you don't repeat. Now read again. Okay, that's how you remember. Okay, now the next thing is comparing the light dependent reaction and light independent reaction. All right, so now we look at similarities. It's a double bubble map. Okay, it's a graphic form, easy for you to remember, to see the differences and the similarities. Remember, question asking for comparison. Please do not just write differences. You will lose marks because similarity, at least one is needed. At least one. Okay, otherwise you cannot get full marks. So you must compare and contrast. You say similarity and differences. All right, and don't forget your similarity. Okay, similarity first. Both reactions are catalyzed by enzymes. So they are enzymes. So in Form 5, you don't need to learn the enzyme name. Form 6, you will need to. Okay, so they are very specific. Different enzymes for light dependent and another set of enzymes for light independent reactions. Okay, all chemical reactions inside the cell is catalyzed by enzyme actually. Any reaction inside our cell, any metabolism. Okay, next, it takes place in the same place. Chloroplast, generally chloroplast, right? But of course, you know the specific site is different, right? One is thylakoid, one is stroma. Understand? All right, so these are the two similarities. Cikgu, Nareen, hello, yes. Okay, thank you very much for joining, yeah? Okay, I'll PM you later. Okay, so comparing, all right, that is done for the similarity. Now differences, make sure you talk about the same point, all right, where it occurs. For light dependent reaction, it occurs in thylakoid. Then for the same on the other side, you talk about, let's say you can draw a table for SPM essay, it is perfectly fine to draw a table. Make sure your sentence is complete. You cannot just say thylakoid and then stroma, one word. Cannot. Because what are you talking about? You must say occurs in thylakoid for light dependent. For the other side, occurs in stroma. Okay? You must put the sentence or the phrase, at least the phrase. Okay, of course, much better for you to write in paragraph in sentence form. For light dependent reaction, the site of reaction is thylakoid, but for light independent reaction, the site of reaction is stroma. Okay, quite a lot to write lah, right? So you don't like it that way, never mind. You can write in table. Okay, second point. What kind of process is it? Okay, for light dependent reaction, you have to break down the water. Water molecule has to be broken down. This process is called photolysis of water. All right. So for your light independent reaction, you don't say no photolysis of water. Try not to say the negative of the other side. Okay, let's say you say photolysis for light dependent. Then you say does not involve photolysis of water. It may not be accepted. Don't just simply put a negative because there is something else to write about. If it's not photolysis of water, there is a process called reduction. Okay, the reduction of carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide actually gets reduced. You know what the reduction means? You have learned redox reaction in chemistry. Reduction can also mean you add hydrogen into the molecule. This is already reduction. When you add hydrogen into a molecule, this is the process called reduction. So your carbon dioxide add in a hydrogen, then becomes CHO, isn't it? There you get your glucose. All right. Okay. Next point to talk about. For light dependent reaction, ATP is produced. Okay, you make ATP. The first part of the reaction, you make the ATP. And then the second part, remember what happens in ATP? What happens to the ATP? It is used up, isn't it? You need the ATP to carry out the reduction process to convert your 5 carbon compound into 6 carbon, and then later on you get all the monomer. You need to use the ATP for that. Okay, and one more point. You can talk about, in fact, this is 2 points. What is the reaction substance? For light dependent reaction, you need water because you need the water to break down. You get your H plus and OH minus. Okay, and for the other side, what is the reaction substance? What do you need for light independent reaction? You need carbon dioxide. Okay, you need carbon dioxide. So this is 1 point, right? Reaction substance, water for this one. The other one, carbon dioxide. Then another point. What is the product? What do you get? What is produced after this reaction? You get oxygen and water for light-dependent reactions. You also get, of course, ATP and NADPH lah. For light-independent reaction, you will get glucose. Glucose, right? That's all. Okay, don't say water, don't say oxygen, you get glucose. That's it. Okay, 5 points to compare. This is in your textbook, page 45. So you write it out, draw it out nicely, and read it again and again and again. If the question comes out, don't think susah. Actually, it's not difficult. Once you understand, you just copy and just read right from your memory, you get full marks because nothing hebat. Everything is facts. You just need to understand and remember. Okay? All right. Next one. What is the last thing I'm going to do? Let's try 2 questions. Very simple questions. All right? Okay? So if anybody wanted to try, I think very easy. All right? Let's look at the question. Diagram 1 shows an organelle in a cell. This is an organelle. Okay, not the entire cell, right? Taken out this organelle only. Question. Which of the structures labeled A, B, C, and D, which one are all, is the site of reaction that uses ATP and NADPH? Keyword. Okay? Look at this. Anybody got the answer? Please type. I would like to get some interact with you. You can just tell me if you have understood my lesson. You will be able to answer this. Uses ATP and NADPH. Not producers, users. Users. Yes, anybody? I got 6 people here. Oh, no lah. Okay, less than 6 people now. Okay, no answer. I think Cikgu Narin can answer lah, definitely. Okay, but teacher answer doesn't count, right? Okay, so answer here is the light-independent reaction happens in the stroma. Okay, happens in the stroma. Okay, second question. Which of the following, where is it? Which of the following statements are true about light-dependent reaction? The first one, light-dependent reaction. Okay, look at the options. Releases oxygen, that means produces oxygen. Involves photolysis of water. Produces ATP. And NADPH reduces carbon dioxide. So which one happens during the light-dependent reaction? Okay. So I'm not sure if you are here. Can anyone just try to answer this? If you've understood, okay, let me show you the options are A, B, C, and D option. Yes, anyone? Anyone got answer? I will just try one lah. Just type, choose like A, B, C, D. If you have understood, you probably will be able to answer this. Okay, anyone? Emily got answer. Okay, releases oxygen. Oxygen is produced in the first reaction, correct? Yes. Photolysis of water, this is also true. Produces, photolysis of water happens in the first one, break down water. Okay. Produces ATP. This happens when? This happens also in the first reaction, right? Produces ATP. ATP is made in the first reaction. And then NADPH reduces carbon dioxide. Now this carbon dioxide actually happens in your second reaction. So this is the first reaction, the light dependent. This one is the light independent. This is so which one light dependent? 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, 1, 2, and 3 is the answer. All right. Okay. So if Emily, you probably have forgotten already lah. So you go and look back, trying to look back at your notes and recall back. Releases oxygen, photolysis of water, producing ATP happens in the first reaction, which is the light dependent. All right. Okay. So if you have any questions further about this topic, please telegram me. All right. I'll be more than happy to answer your question. This is the answer of last question. What does that mean? This is the answer of last. Oh, the previous one. Yes. Okay. Very good, Emily. So that was the previous question. Question 1. Okay. So anyone would like to keep in touch with me, I will give you my Telegram name so you can, if you need anyone to ask questions. Okay. I don't mind. You're not. Anybody can be my student. All right. You don't have to be my student in school. You can be my student on the internet. Okay. So this is my Telegram name. All right. So I will be making some more classes. but maybe not. I'm not sure whether next week I'll be free or not, or maybe the if I'm not free, I'll make it the next week lah. All right, but I'll for sure is Saturday 4 o'clock. All right, okay. See you everyone, and bye bye. See you until my next class. Okay, bye bye. Thank you. See you.